Razor down. What's up, everybody, and welcome back. We're actually sitting on the 420 Boston Whaler right now. I want to show you something because I made a mistake on one of my videos 3 or 4 videos ago where we looked at this boat and we had a Fisher Panda problem with it leaking and the motors shooting out from the flusher, all the water out the side of them. So I figured they had bad valves on the top, because when you run the motors and you blow water out of them, that's usually the problem. Those valves will hang up or stick and then they let water out. That's actually not the case for these. All the whalers have this same issue. And it's not really an issue, it's just how they rig the boat. But we can correct it. So let me show you why. And then after that, we'll take a look at the Fisher Panda, because I found another problem after we replaced the water pump. So let's get started. So first we'll start the motor here. I'll explain what I did wrong. So we look here. This is the valve from the video I was talking about. It's got a flush valve right here. This flush valve only lets water one way. So when you flush it, it lets it in, but then when it's running, it doesn't let it out. Because when it lets it out, what happens is it shoots water out of here. So if you don't have the flush system hooked up like this boat does, which got a reverso pump, has nothing to do with mercury, they tied this line in. So when the reverso pump turns on, it's pushing water here, and it goes up, just like you'd hook a hose to here, but it also comes out here. So it's making a mess. It sprays water all over the other motors. Luckily it's just fresh water from the hose, but it's still kind of annoying. So we can either find a T that has a check valve in it so that the water will only go this way, basically the same thing as the one that's on the top of the motor, or we can find a single check valve that we can put in line here, so when you flush it from this side, it lets water in, but when it gets flushed from this side, it won't let water out. So both things will function correctly. So you could use a reverso, and then if the reverso fails, you could also flush it from here in an emergency situation, or if you need to replace your reverso, because if you know how many of my videos, the reverso pump is not the most reliable thing. So anyway, that's the mistake I made there. So if you have a running motor, nothing to do with flushing it, and the thing is running in the water, and you're spraying water out this hole right here, that's because of that check valve. But if you own a Boston Whaler and you are flushing it from the reverso, it's going to spray out of there unless you add a check valve. Anyway, I just want to straighten that out because a couple of you caught that. So thank you for that. Alright, so now let's get in our hole here. We'll take a look at our Fisher Panda. And the second problem I found after I replaced the water pump. So basically all I did so far was put a new pump on it so I could run it to make sure we had no other known issues before I throw a filter on it and change the oil and stuff. I just want to make sure we didn't have any other running issues, because we knew by looking at this we were leaking out of the pump, and the pump looked pretty bad. So after running it, it's shut down right away again with the water detection basically in the pan. So these motors have a water sensor. It's actually behind here. I'll show you. Let me grab my flashlight on my other phone here. So looking right here, you see those 2 brown wires? I pulled them out so I could dry them off, but those 2 brown wires, let me see if I can get it better. There we go. Those 2 detect water, so if water touches those 2 or any kind of moisture gets between them, it signals that we got a leak, which you can see. There's water everywhere here. You can see water on this stuff because I was running it with the pan off. So looking, see all this water on the filter. I unplugged that so I could figure out what was going on. But let's see if I can get myself in here to show you. If you look behind the filter, let me go back some. So looking at this, that's the exhaust right here. That's what lets it out the side of the boat right there. Basically that tube goes, and then it goes to our muffler on the other side of the motor here. So what happened is this piece right here, I'm shining the light on, is our heat exchanger, and then our exhaust basically comes out this tube right here. So looking right past that sensor, see where it's unplugged right there? See all that corrosion? Now let's see if I can get a good camera view over here. Oh, there we go. See that dark spot? That's a hole. That's a hole in the exhaust right there. So what's happening is it's running, pushing water out of that hole immediately because the exhaust has a lot of water flowing through it to cool the exhaust off, because it's a diesel, it's hot, and it's just spraying water out. And as soon as those sensors get water on them, it shuts off. I even spread them out like that and they immediately shut the motor off. So It's definitely doing its job because you don't want to fill this pan with water, but we need to order this whole exhaust piece here and swap it out. The really good thing is, looking at the access here, I can fit myself right here and kind of lean right there and probably take it all apart without having to take this generator out of the hole, because I can actually get to the back of it. So that's good news. We'll be able to fix this. I gotta go order the part for the back of it, but my guess is this thing sat for a while, doesn't have many hours on it, and now he's using it, and you know, things are gonna pop up now because it probably sat there and just corroded a little bit at a time until now it's got a hole in it. So like I said, good thing we can fix it, and we should be able to fix it right here without having to remove it, because that's a pain. Anyway, I just wanted to show you the mistake I made on the mercuries there, because it happens, everybody's human, and what I found on the generator here after I put a pump on it, because that's an interesting one. I've never seen really any rotting of the exhaust on these. So we'll get that part coming. Hopefully if I get a chance, I'll film it and we'll get this bad boy running again. So as always, I appreciate everybody watching. I will see you next time. Later. Roger, say hi to your sister Vicky.